When your toddler pees on the floor for the third time today, you think they're not ready. But what if waiting for readiness is actually the very thing keeping them in diapers? The truth is, most kids are physically ready weeks or even months before we start training. What's missing isn't their readiness. It's our understanding of how to create success conditions. In this video, I'll walk you through 7 essential steps built on how your child's brain learns. These steps are not based on outdated advice about waiting for the perfect timing to begin. I know this is hard. You've read the articles and bought the special musical Potty seat. You've waited patiently for every single sign on the readiness checklist to appear. Stays dry for 2 hours, shows interest, and can follow simple directions. All checked off. And yet here you are, still in diapers, still wondering exactly what you're missing. Here's what no one tells you. Traditional methods are designed for slow, gradual transitions over time. They assume your child will magically connect the dots over time on their own. But what actually happens is confusion and mixed signals that slow everything way down. Days wearing underwear, then back to pull-ups at nap time. Constant inconsistency for your child. Rewards for success turn potty time into a performance rather than a natural habit. Your child's brain needs clarity, not complexity, to build this important new skill. Most approaches accidentally create confusion about when the potty rule actually applies for your child. Underwear at home, pull-ups at daycare. Potty praise one moment, diaper convenience the next. Each mixed signal delays the neural pathway your child's brain is actively trying to build. Here's a pattern documented repeatedly. A child shows some readiness signs, but not all of them. So parents wait and wait, hoping the remaining readiness signs will eventually appear on their own. Until one weekend, out of frustration or necessity, they try the 3-day method anyway. They start without the perfect checklist complete, and something surprisingly good happens. By day 2, the child is already signaling their needs to go to the potty. By day 3, successes outnumber accidents. Real progress happening faster than anyone expected. Was the child more ready on Friday than Monday? No, the body was exactly the same. What changed was the structure, the clarity, and the focused, consistent experience that made it work. That focused, consistent experience finally allowed the brain to connect sensation to action successfully. That's the insight traditional advice misses. We don't wait for readiness. We create it. Most parents think potty training takes weeks or even months of slow back and forth progress. Some pediatricians will tell you to let it unfold naturally over time. And that's okay too. But here's what you might not realize. Your child's body is usually ready before their confidence is. By age 2 to 3, a child's bladder control reflex is physically present and working. Their body can physically hold and release. That physical capability is already fully there. But the communication loop between brain and body is still actively developing at this stage. Think of it like learning to swim. The body can float and the arms can move, but coordination between breath, movement, and balance only clicks through real immersion and practice. You can't teach swimming by alternating between pool days and floaties days. Same principle applies. The body needs concentrated, repeated experience with consistent conditions to wire the new skill properly. Potty training is exactly the same. The body works, the brain works, but the connection needs strengthening. The connection between sensation and action needs to be strengthened through focused, consistent feedback daily. That's exactly why the 3-day method works. Not because it rushes your child at all. It works because it removes every distraction and mixed signal so the brain can finally connect. The science backs this up. Concentrated practice literally helps wire the neural pathway in your child. Each time your child feels the sensation, responds to it, and reaches the potty, the pathway strengthens. Whether it's a success or an accident, each experience makes that neural pathway even stronger. So let's talk about how you actually create those conditions. Step 1. Clear your calendar and commit. Before you begin, Choose 3 calm days where you can focus your full attention on training. No errands, no visitors, no splitting attention between potty training and everything else on your list. This tells your child, this is special, this matters, and we are doing it together, right now. Have small underwear ready, the kind your child can pull up and down all by themselves. Get a potty seat or a step stool for the big toilet, whichever feels right for your child. Stock up on easy clean surfaces, extra sheets, and enzymatic cleaner, especially for any carpet accidents. But here's the crucial part. Preparation isn't just physical. It's emotional preparation for you too. If you're anxious about the next accident, your child will feel that tension and absorb it. They start to believe this whole process is something to be genuinely anxious and stressed about. So before day 1, reframe how you view accidents. They are information, not failures at all. You're teaching a skill, and skills require repetition to master. That's completely normal and expected. When your energy reflects confidence instead of anxiety, your child absorbs that confidence from you. The preparation phase sets you both up, parent and child together, for real success ahead. Step 2, let them watch you. Children learn best through imitation of the adults around them. Let them see you use the toilet and talk about it casually and naturally without any pressure. Celebrate going potty as a completely normal, natural part of everyday growing up for your child. When your child sees that going potty is just something people do, the mystery disappears completely. It stops being a mysterious high-pressure event when mommy, daddy, and siblings all do it normally. Narrate what's happening. Mommy's going potty. My body told me it was time, so I listened. That simple narrated language builds your child's internal script for what this whole process looks like. When it's their turn, they already know what going potty looks like and feels like from watching. This isn't about making bathroom time a performance. It's about demystifying the process before pressure enters. Step 3, ditch the diapers completely. I know this sounds terrifying, but it creates the clarity. Pull-ups send mixed signals. Your child's brain genuinely doesn't know when to hold or release. Going without diapers during waking hours gives the body instant, unmistakable feedback every single time. They feel wetness immediately and connect sensation to consequence in real time. That's the learning. Think of it like learning to ride a bike. You can't master balance with training wheels forever. Eventually the training wheels come off, so the real learning can finally happen for your child. Removing the safety net, just during waking hours, allows the brain to finally connect the dots. Yes, there will be accidents, but that's not failure. That's the feedback loop actively in action. When there's no diaper to absorb it, the cause and effect becomes unmistakably crystal clear immediately. That crystal clear cause and effect accelerates learning in a way that nothing else really can. Step 4. Spot the signs before your child does. Every single child has their own tell. Maybe they grab themselves. Maybe they freeze mid-play. Maybe they suddenly get very, very quiet. Your job is to catch those signals early and calmly guide them to the potty right away. Don't ask, do you need to go? Most toddlers will say no, even during the potty dance. Instead, narrate what you see. I see your body wiggling. That tells me it might be time. Let's go try together. This removes the pressure of them needing to know the answer. This narration teaches them the language of their own sensations, a crucial developmental skill to build. You're not demanding. You're interpreting their body's signals out loud so they can learn to recognize them. This teaches the crucial developmental skill, connecting internal sensation to external response. Exactly what we're training. At first, you are their external alarm system, noticing what your child doesn't yet notice themselves. But as the pathway strengthens with each successful trip, they start catching the signal themselves. That is when true independence actually begins. The child owns the signal and acts on it. During these 3 days, stay close, stay observant, and offer the potty every 30 to 60 minutes. Offer the potty even without obvious signs. You're creating opportunities for success every single time, and every success reinforces the habit, building the neural pathway stronger with each positive experience. Step 5. Praise the try, not just the result. This is a key mindset shift for parents. It's tempting to cheer only when P actually lands in the potty with stickers and treats. But developmental psychology shows that rewarding only success makes children performance-focused rather than learning-focused. When only results are rewarded, children avoid trying if they're not confident they'll succeed immediately. Instead, celebrate the effort. Praise the trying, not just the achieving of the actual end result. Say things like, "You felt your body's signal and you told me." That's exactly what we're practicing. Or, "You made it to the potty so fast. Your body and brain are learning to work together." You're not training them to perform for rewards. You're helping them feel proud of their capability. Kids who feel proud of themselves learn faster and stick with the skill much longer overall. They own the skill instead of doing it just for you. That internal motivation is everything. Celebrate sitting on the potty, even if absolutely nothing happens. That try deserves full recognition. Celebrate telling you they need to go, even if they don't quite make it there in time. Every single step forward deserves recognition because you're building confidence, not just compliance, in your child. Step 6. Stay calm when accidents happen. Accidents are not regressions. They are simply data points. Accidents show your child's brain is still actively wiring that pathway. They're learning, not failing. Your response in those accident moments shapes absolutely everything. It matters more than the accident itself. When an accident happens, keep your voice neutral. "Oops, your body went before we made it." That's okay. Let's clean up together, and next time we'll try to catch the signal sooner. No frustration, no disappointment, no heavy sighs. Because your child is scanning your face for cues. They're deciding whether this whole process feels safe or scary, based entirely on your reaction. Imagine learning to play piano where every wrong note was met with visible frustration from your teacher. How long would you keep practicing? Emotional safety is the absolute foundation for physical control here. When accidents happen, and they will, treat them like any other normal moment of learning. Clean up and move on. Trust the process. Calm consistency is what truly builds learning trust. And trust is what makes learning possible. It is the invisible foundation beneath every success. Step 7. Build the habit with daily routines. Once successes outnumber accidents, real consolidation begins. Once your child starts having more successes, you might think you're done, but you're not quite yet. This is actually when the real consolidation happens. Keep practicing with consistent daily potty prompts. Prompt potty breaks at predictable times. First thing in the morning, after every meal, before naps. And before leaving the house, these routine anchors set clear potty expectations every single day. Routine builds automaticity. It moves the habit from conscious effort to unconscious natural reflex. Here's a powerful but often overlooked tool: reflection. Talk about your child's progress with them regularly. Say things like, "Remember when you wore diapers? Look at you now, using the potty. You're using the potty just like the big kids. I'm so proud of how much you've learned." This isn't just praise. It's identity formation. You're helping your child see themselves in a new way. When using the potty becomes part of their self-image, the habit locks in permanently and deeply. It becomes who they are, not just something they do. That's when training has truly succeeded. Now, a common question. What if it doesn't work in exactly 3 days? That's completely normal. The 3-day label is about building momentum, not a hard deadline your child must meet. Some children click on day 2. Others need 5 or 6 full days for everything to consolidate. Both patterns are completely normal. Resist the urge to compare your child to any other timeline. If your child actively resists, Melting down at potty mentions or refusing to sit. That's information. Back off gently. Keep the potty available and visible. Keep modeling. Restart when the climate is calmer. Potty training works best when it feels collaborative and shared, never forced, coerced, or pressured. Here's a pattern frequently reported in parenting forums. Regression after initial success with the potty. Your child might have a week of perfect potty use and then suddenly start having accidents again. Maybe they're adjusting to a new daycare, a new sibling just arrived, or a developmental leap is happening. Learning to talk in sentences, climbing stairs, learning to share. Big transitions all disrupt routines. When a child's brain is overwhelmed by new learning, it deprioritizes the newest skill acquired first. That doesn't mean you've lost your progress. It means the system is temporarily overloaded right now. Stay consistent, stay calm. Trust that the foundation you built is still there, even if hidden. And if you tried this method before and it didn't work, that does not predict what happens now. Your child is developmentally different than they were even just 1 month ago. Brain development shifts. Readiness shifts. Brain development shifts. You're not repeating a failure. You're beginning again with a more mature child, and that changes everything. You haven't failed. You're teaching a lifelong skill with patience and love. This takes patience, humor, and love. Those are the real tools of successful potty training. So there you have it, 7 essential steps built on how your child's brain actually learns. These steps work because they're based on real brain development, not on outdated myths about readiness. You're not just potty training. You're teaching independence, body awareness, and trust in their capabilities. I know this process might feel overwhelming before you start. That feeling is completely normal and expected. But here's what happens consistently once you're in it and moving through the 3 days together. You see that moment when your child's eyes light up because they felt the signal and made it. They felt the signal and made it to the potty in time. And everything just clicks into place. You've got this, one flush at a time. You are doing an incredible job, even on hard days. Thank you for showing up with intention and patience. You're doing an incredible job every single day.